when you open the Solid Edge software, you can see this page. Now you click on drawing. When you open it, you will get a sheet with the default name sheet 1. Now first thing we have to do after opening the software is page setup. To do the page setup, you right click here, go for sheet setup, change the size of the sheet to A4 sheet and hide the background. So we are going to take the printout in A4 sheet. So we require an A4 sheet to draw the drawing, and we are hiding the background. Hiding the background means you are removing the title blocks already existing in the sheet. So you will get a blank page by removing this check mark. So you are selecting A4 sheet, removing the check mark, and then click OK. So there are 3 tabs. Background tab you should go and change the size of the sheet. Okay. Now click OK. After selecting this, you click OK. So now the sheet is A4 sheet, but now the sheet size is reduced. It's looking small. So what you have to do is click on the fit command on the main toolbar. So here you can see the fit command. So click on fit command. It will zoom the drawing area and fit to the screen. So you have to use the fit command. Fit command brings the screen size to the normal size. Now you can rename the sheet by clicking here and go for rename. You can change the name of the sheet. Say whatever name you want. Say I'll write it as point. This is one sheet, and you can also insert a number of sheets here. So this I'll rename it as lines. Then you have to, every page you insert, you have to go for the sheet setup, change the sheet setup to A4, hide the background, click OK. So you have 2 A4 size sheets. You can insert more sheets, and you can also reorder the sheets, arranging the sheets. Say I want to move this up, so lines sheet has come to the top, first sheet, and point is second sheet. And also you can have the option to delete the sheet. So this is a sheet setup. So first thing you have to do is sheet setup. Okay, click on this, go for sheet setup, select A4 sheet and remove the check mark here, then click OK. So that will give a A4 sheet, and we have to make all the drawings in A4 sheet. Now after getting an A4 sheet, now next I'll introduce the toolbars. There are a number of toolbars, standard toolbars in the software. There are 6 toolbars, separate toolbars where you can use the different tools to make the drawing. This is a title bar where the name of the software is given. It is a Solid Edge version 18, and this is the default name of the drawing file. Draft 1 is a default name. So when you open it, by default it's assigning a name, draft 1. Now this is a main menu. So most of the softwares will have a main menu like this. So here most of the options will be available. File menu, edit, view, insert. Most of the options which are available in the toolbar is also available here. But toolbars are given to make the easy drawing. You can click on this particular tool and start drawing. So these toolbars are more easier to use than going for the main menu. Now I'll tell you the different types of toolbars. This is a main toolbar, where you have the options like save, opening the file, printing, cut, undo, redo, zoom, fit. Number of commands are there. I'll introduce those tools later. So this is a main toolbar, and this is a ribbon bar. I'll explain all those toolbars later. And this is a relationship toolbar, and this is a drawing toolbar, and this is a drawing view toolbar. And one more toolbar is standard toolbar is manage toolbar. So this is a manage toolbar. Okay, manage toolbar. So I can move it, drag it and move it to any convenient location. So this is a manage toolbar. So there are 6. One is manage toolbar, one is a relationship toolbar, and another is a main toolbar, and this is a ribbon bar, and this is a drawing toolbar, and this is a drawing view toolbar. So 6 standard toolbars are there. Apart from that, if you require a customized toolbar, you can create it by keeping whichever tools you frequently use. Using that, you can create a toolbar, and you can use the toolbar for making the drawing. I am not going to make a customized toolbar. I'll explain the frequently used tools. Okay. Now, before that, I'll explain how to enable or disable these toolbars. Here on the top, here any of this blank area here, you can right click and just disable or enable it. So you can see that 5 toolbars, but ribbon bar not seen here. You can disable all these by right clicking. Each time you can disable one like this. So you just right click on this blank area, then I am removing this. Now right click here, you can enable it. I say I am just enabling it. So that way you can enable or disable these toolbars. Each time you have to right click and then enable or disable. Other way of doing it is go for toolbars here, and then I disable all of them at a time. So all the toolbars are disabled, including ribbon bar, it has gone. Now if you right click, you will not get this. If you right click here, you will not get that toolbars. So when no toolbars are available, you cannot do that process. So there you have to go for view toolbars, and there you can click on the toolbars. You can enable one of them here, or click on toolbars, whichever toolbars are required you can enable. I am enabling all of them and click OK. You can also see that there is a option for customizing the existing toolbar. So you can add any tool to that particular toolbar, or you can create a new toolbar by giving a particular name and dragging and dropping the tools to that particular toolbar. Okay, so I'll click OK. So I am getting the standard toolbars now. So you understood how to enable or disable the toolbars. So one is by clicking on the this blank area on the top. You can right click and then enable or disable the tools. So once the no toolbars are available, you have to go for view toolbars, click on the toolbars, and then here you can click toolbars and then enable or disable it. So that way you can enable or disable the toolbars. Next I'll explain the drawing toolbar. So in the drawing toolbar you have line tools. This is to draw the curve, this is to draw the arc and the circle, so rectangle. So number of tools are there, and under this also you have number of tools. So you can see a right side a downward arrow that shows there is a submenu behind this. So if you clicking on this downward arrow, you can see some more tools. Now you can go here and select the other tool. Okay, if I select the point tool, instead of lines, now it is showing point. So if you click on this, you will be able to draw a point. So this line tool you can take and you can start drawing lines. Similarly, most of the tools, there are multiple tools available. By clicking on the downward arrow, you can see that. Okay, so this is again trim corner, number of tools are there. So here also number of tools are there. When you keep the mouse pointer on the downward arrow, you can see that move the mouse to the right and then select whichever tool is required. So that will be shown here and you can click on that and start drawing. Now to draw a line, you click on the line and you can click the mouse on the screen and then start drawing. If you click any other point, you will get a line. Okay, you can draw the inclined line. While making the drawing, you can observe the ribbon bar. This is a ribbon bar. Ribbon bar always shows that what you are drawing, the property of what entity you are drawing. Here you are drawing a line. So line property means length. As I move, you can see that line length is increasing and the angle is also changing as I change the angle. Okay. So here itself, while drawing itself, you can fix the length of the line. You can type here the line length and inclination that will make the required line of fixed length and inclination. Okay, you can type the line length here and inclination here. Even the color can be selected for the line and the type of line, the width of the line, that I mean thickness of the line, and whether it's a dotted line, chain line, axis line, all that can be selected while drawing itself. So without that also you can draw a line, then later you can modify the line. Okay, so if I want to make a line of 100 mm length, I need to type here. Already this is highlighted. So if I type 100 there, it will I typed 100 there, then press tab key on the keyboard, that will change the focus to the next input box. Okay, so now I can feed the angle. So the line length is fixed and as I move the mouse, it is not increasing, the length is already fixed. Now the angle you can type, say angle, if you require an angle of 30 degree, you can type 30 degree and press enter. So that fixes the line. Now this is 100 mm long line at an angle of 30 degree from the horizontal. Now the line command, if you are to terminate, you can right click. Mouse, you can right click and terminate the line command. So I have drawn a line of 100 mm length at an inclination of 30 degree. Now you can select this line. So in the drawing view toolbar, there is a select tool. So clicking on this, if you come to the line and just click it, so that will show the property of the line. So it is 100 mm length and 30 degree inclination. If you click anywhere on the screen, the ribbon bar, you can notice it is not showing. It is only showing the ribbon bar for the select tool. Whatever options are there, it is showing. So only when you click on that particular item, it shows the property of that item selected. So whichever item is selected, the corresponding to that property will be shown on the ribbon bar. This is how you draw a line, by giving the initially itself the dimensions, that is length and inclination. Even the color we could have given color. Here you can change the color. Okay, selecting this, you can change the color of the line. So even now after drawing also, you can select it, you can modify the property. I want to increase the line length to 120. So here you have to type 120. So now the length has increased. I want to change the inclination to say 45 degree. Instead of 30 degree, I want to change to 45 degree. So now the line inclination has become 45 degree. You can also change the line thickness by increasing or typing the thickness required. So I'll increase the line thickness to 2 mm. So now the thickness has increased. Similarly, I can also change the line type to say chain line. Okay, so now this has become a chain line. I can change the color of the line to say green. Now this is a green color, and also I can make that line standard line type, like if I change this, so it has become dotted. So this way a number of options are there. Once you select it, you can change the properties of the line. So I will delete it and click on this. You can go for the delete option, that will delete the line. Or even the other Microsoft Word or Excel commands like Control X. Control X will cut, Control V paste, Control A selection. Most of the Microsoft shortcuts also works here. So that is how to draw the line. And now while drawing the line, you can observe that when you are nearly horizontal, you can see a small indication there, a small horizontal line immediately right side of the crosshair. You can see a small horizontal line that indicates the line is horizontal. If I move up, it is not showing. That small horizontal line has disappeared. Now if I move down, that has appeared. That next to the crosshair, you can observe a small horizontal line. Okay, so that indicates that line is now horizontal. You can click now. If I click now, when I get that horizontal line, if I click, the line is going to be horizontal. So I used earlier the dotted line I used. I'll change the line type to visible line. Okay. Now again here, when I draw further upward, I am getting a small vertical indication that shows that line is vertical. Okay. Similarly, when I move here, I am getting that horizontal indication. Okay. So this indication it's horizontal or vertical indication, which will help you in drawing the horizontal and vertical line. So taking the line tool, you can easily draw a horizontal line when you get the indication. Similarly, you can draw a vertical line when you get this indication. Again, horizontal indication is there. This vertical indication. So this all helps to draw the horizontal and vertical line. So how do you get that indication? Sometimes you may not find that indication. How to enable that indication? So this you have to go for Tools, IntelliSketch. Tools, IntelliSketch. There you have this horizontal or vertical indication. So if you check mark this only, you will get that indication. Now I removed that check mark. Now click OK. Now if I come back and wants to start a horizontal line, I am not getting that indication. I am keeping the line almost horizontal, but I am not getting that indication. If you draw that line, it is not a horizontal line. Now you click on this line and you can check the property. It is minus 0.45 degree. That means it is downward. It is inclined little downward. It is not horizontal. So without help of IntelliSketch, drawing vertical and horizontal lines become difficult. Even though I assume that it is vertical, after drawing I can find that it is little inclined. But that did not happen here. It was perfectly horizontal and vertical. So these IntelliSketch help you in making the drawings, making the perfect horizontal and vertical lines. We have few more options here in IntelliSketch. if you go to the IntelliSketch, you can see there are number of options here, like endpoint, midpoint, point on element, center point, etc. Number of options are there, and here also you can see that parallel or perpendicular, tangent, horizontal or vertical. So these all helps in making a perfect drawing. So with the help of these, you can make your drawing very accurate. So I will show you the endpoint indication and midpoint indication now. Now I want to start a line from the end of this. So when you move to the end, you can see an indication, a small stick like thing with a point on the top, a small stick. This is the indication, endpoint indication. Now if you click, you will pick the end of this line and the line starts from that end. Okay, so I have started from the end of this line. So this indication shows that you have correctly picked the end of the line. Now if you zoom this particular point, you will not find any gap. You will not find any gap there. So this is perfectly picked from that point. I go for fit now. Now I just switch off that. In IntelliSketch, I'll switch off this endpoint indication. Now again I'll go for line command. I'll go to the end of the line. So I assume that it is end because I am not getting that indication. I have gone nearly to the end of this line, pick that. It's not connected. So I'll just pick from here. Okay. Now if I zoom this particular point, you can see the difference. It is not exactly picked from there. It is not picked from the end. We are supposed to pick from the end, but we have picked from somewhere in other point. On the line itself, but some other point you have picked. So this endpoint indication helps to start a line from the end of another line. So that is very helpful, and even though it is not observed in the drawing here, when you take the printout of that, it will be clearly visible and your drawing will not be accurate. So this endpoint indication is very useful in making the drawing. Similarly, you have midpoint indication. This is a midpoint indication. So a small line with a center dot. So that shows that you are in the middle of that line, and if you pick now, you are getting the line midpoint indication. Now you pick. So I have drawn the line from the center of this line. So if I disable that, you will not get that indication. This indication is different. This is point on element. So that means you are on the line. You are picking from the line. I have picked from the line but not midpoint. So this all shows that it is point on element. Okay, point on element symbol. Two arrows you can see, small arrows, that shows that it's point on element. That means your mouse pointer is on the line. Okay, I move from there, I'm not getting. So this is to start a line from that line. I'm starting from that line. So that indication, that's all helps you in drawing. Okay. Now you have another indication like intersection. Intersection I will show you, like if you want to start another line from the junction. So I want to start from this intersection. This is point on element symbol. Don't pick now. So or whatever, I just disable that point on element. IntelliSketch. Point on element I will disable, so I can easily get the intersection. Intersection is not enabled, that's why I am not getting. Okay. Now I will move to the intersection. I am getting that intersection. I am not disturbed by point on element now, because point on element indication I have disabled. So I am clearly getting the intersection. So if I pick now, I am starting the next line from that intersection. Similarly, here you have intersection. If I move somewhere nearer, I am getting immediately indication. I can start the line from there. So that will exactly pick that. If I zoom, you can see that it has picked from that junction. So this all helps in drawing. So IntelliSketch you can enable some of the tools which are required, you can enable in IntelliSketch. So endpoint always helps, but sometimes you have to disable it. Say in some cases midpoint and intersection may be confusing. If you have a line like this and now you want to pick from the intersection, but it is showing the midpoint of this line or midpoint of this line. It can be midpoint of anything, but I am not getting correctly intersection. Sometimes it's showing, but most of the time showing midpoint of any of these lines. Okay. So midpoint indication is disturbing my picking from the junction. If I pick now, you are picking from the midpoint of this line. So that is picked from the midpoint of that line. I'll show you. It is picked from the midpoint of that line, not from the intersection. So it is disturbing the indication. So what I do is just go to the IntelliSketch. Midpoint indication I disable. I have intersection indication. So I click OK. Come to here. I can easily get the intersection indication. Then start the line from there. So sometimes you may have to disable it. Most of the time you will enable it. Some situations you may have to disable those indications. So I'll enable it. IntelliSketch. There I'll enable those indications. Even point on element, I'll enable it. So that will all helps in making an accurate drawing. To draw a rectangle using line tool, you have to start with the line in the horizontal direction. So if you have to draw a rectangle of 60 by 40 using line tool, you have to start this horizontal line first. Horizontal line means the angle is 0 degree. So you can draw a line of length 60 mm and 0 degree angle. Then you have to draw this vertical line of 40 mm. But the angle is 90 degree. So anti-clockwise direction you measure the angle from positive x-axis, anti-clockwise direction 90 degree. So you have to draw the next edge 40 mm length at 90 degree. Then from here you have to draw a line of 60 mm length, but the angle is 180 degree. So you have to draw 60 mm at 180 degree. Then from here you have to draw this line of 40 mm length. The angle is 270. From here you measure 270, or you can say clockwise if you measure from here it is minus 90. So counterclockwise is positive, clockwise is negative. So to draw this line from this point downward, you have to give the angle as 270 or minus 90. So from here you have to draw 40 mm and at an angle of 270. Similarly, for drawing pentagon, you can start a line like this at 40 mm length at 0 degree angle, then 40 mm length at 72 degree angle, and from here you have to draw 40 mm at 144 angle. 144 from here anti-clockwise 144 for this edge. So 72 first 0 degree horizontal line, then 72 degree, then 144, 72 plus 72, 144, and again from here in this edge it is 144 plus 72, that is 216 you should give as angle, and from here to close this you can give 40 mm length and 216 plus 72, 288 you can do, or you can close the edge. So I'll show you this the line tool. So take the line tool and draw the, after clicking at one point on the screen, you can the input box, you can give for length 60 mm Then press the tab key on the keyboard, which will change the focus to the angle input field. There you can type 0 degree and press enter. Then next edge is 40 mm. Just type 40 mm for length, and then again press tab key and give the angle as 90 degree. Press enter key. And again you can give the length as 60 mm and press tab key and give the angle as 180 degree. Press enter key now. And then next you can close this using the mouse. You can close by choosing the endpoint indication, or you can type 40 and angle you should give as 270 or minus 90. 270 you can. This gives a rectangle of 60 by 40. You can also draw the rectangle using the rectangle tool. Select the rectangle tool, just drag the mouse on the screen, you will get a rectangle. It's a random rectangle. You have to select the edges and adjust the length. Click on one of the sides, you type this as 60 mm, press enter, and also the other edge you can select and type this as 40 mm. So adjust the length. So you got a rectangle of 60 by 40. This is 60 mm side and the other one is 40 mm. Now to draw the regular pentagon of 40 mm side, you can select the line tool, start from one point, type 40 for the side and press the tab key. Now give angle as 0, that will give an horizontal edge. Okay, press enter key. Now you have to type 40 as the next side, press tab key, angle has to be given as 72 degree, press enter, and again you type 40 for the edge and angle is 144 now, press enter, again side length is 40, press tab key. Now 144 plus 72 is 216. Then now you can use the mouse and close it by when you get the endpoint indication, or you can type 40 and the angle is 216 plus 72, that is 288. 288 you can. That will automatically close that pentagon. So you got a pentagon of 40 mm side. The same way you can draw the hexagon also. So to draw the hexagon of 40 mm side, you can start with the horizontal edge 40 mm, then press tab key, give the angle as 0, then again 40, press the tab key. Now the angle is 60 degree. For a hexagon the angle is 60 degree. You have to get the angle as 360 divided by number of sides. For a pentagon it is 5 sides, so 360 divided by 5 is 72, and for a hexagon 360 divided by 6, which will give angle as 60. So now you have to give the angle as 60, then again 40 is the side length, 40, 60 plus 60, 120 you can type, then 40 side length, 120 plus 60, 180, press enter, then 40 side length, press tab key, 180 plus 60, 240. Now you can either choose the starting point and close it, or you can once again type 40 as the side length and the angle as 240 plus 60, that is 300. That will close the hexagon. So you got a hexagon. So you can draw the pentagon, hexagon using line tool, but rectangle and square always you can use a rectangle tool to draw the rectangle or square. Now I'll explain how to rotate an item using rotate command. So you have a rotate command here. It is a move command. Under move you have another command, rotate command. So after drawing plane lamina, here it's a pentagon or hexagon, you need to rotate to the required position. So to rotate an item using this rotate command, you have to first select the item. So you select it using the mouse. You can drag and within a rectangle you can select it. So once you select it, you will get the prompt here, click for the center of rotation. So it is asking for identifying the center of rotation. So with which point the center you want to rotate this pentagon. So your intention is to make one of the edge vertical, any one edge. Okay, so I'll go for this edge. So if you have to rotate this and make it vertical, you can select this point as center. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this point as center. Then once you click that, you are getting another hint here. Click the point to rotate from. So you need to take another reference point to rotate. If you select this point, it will rotate like this. This edge you can make vertical, either rotating anti-clockwise or clockwise. So easiest way to rotate it is this edge. You can rotate the entire pentagon with this as center and rotate this point to make this side vertical. Okay, so I'll select this as a reference point to rotate this pentagon with this as center. So I select this. Now if I move the mouse, you are getting this pentagon rotated. So you can manually rotate and put it in any position, but you need this to be vertical. So when you get that vertical symbol, you can see that small indication on the right side showing that it is vertical. Then you can fix it. But before doing that, if you don't want that initial figure, if you want only the rotated figure, you should switch off this. So this will give, if it is switched on, that is background is light in color, white in color, then that means you will get both initial and rotated copy. So you should switch off this so that you will get only the rotated copy. Okay, so you want only the rotated pentagon. So after getting that symbol, vertical symbol, you can click the mouse, which will give the, so you got this vertical, perfectly vertical now, 90. So this is pentagon is rotated with one side vertical. Now I want to rotate this hexagon and I want to make one of the sides vertical. I am going to make this side vertical. Now select this hexagon, select rotate command. Now to rotate this and make this side vertical, I can select this point as a center of rotation. Then reference point, you can select this, then make this vertical. So here this is already switched off, so you can make this vertical. So when you get that vertical symbol, just click the mouse, you got this in the vertical position. Now this is vertical, so minus 90 or 90, that will shows that it is vertical. So you got the hexagon rotated and it's making 90 degree. Two of its parallel sides are perpendicular, perpendicular to the XY line. Now you can also rotate an item and get multiple rotated copies of that. So I am selecting this rectangle. I select the rotate tool and I select this point as a center of rotation. I'll select another edge, this reference point. Now there are options to give a step angle also. I'll give the rotation angle. Rotation angle is say 30 degree, and now I press the tab key Now after giving 30 degree, it's just rotating. It's giving 30 degree. Now I'll use the tab key and go to the step angle. There I just give 10 degree as the step angle. So 10 degree as the step angle and press enter. Now I'll be getting after rotating it by 30 degree, I'll be getting further steps. I should switch on this because I need the number of copies. So initially it's showing 30 degree rotation because I given the rotation angle as 30 degree. Then further you are going to have steps of 10 degree. So initial only 30 degree rotation. Later I will get steps of 10. You see that mouse stops when it is 10 degree. You get a indication. Now I can rotate it by 10 degree. Every 10 degree I can rotate. 10 degree steps I get. This all 10 degree steps. So this way you can have a number of this all 10 degree steps you can get. That's importance of rotation angle and step angle. Also you can give a position angle, exact position at what angle through which it has to be rotated. Not angle of rotation, absolute position of that edge. For example, if this pentagon, if I have to rotate, give a rotate command. I am selecting the center of rotation. Now I'll select the second point. I want this side to be at 30 degree from the horizontal. So it's giving position angle. Position angle means absolute from horizontal. Say if you give 30 degree, it will give 30 degree like this. If you give minus 30, it will rotate like this. So it is always absolute angle from the horizontal. What is the angle through which it's rotated? It's not rotation angle from here. From the initial position, what angle through rotate? This rotation angle means from initial position, how much you rotate. But position angle is not that. From x-axis, what is the position of the pentagon? This reference side, know how much it makes, what angle it makes. If it's 30, it will come like this. If it's 60, it will come like this. If it's minus 30, it will go like this. So I'll give the position angle as minus 30. You see that it has come to that position. So it is minus 30. So minus 30. That particular edge has come to minus 30. Since I switched on that multiple copies, even initial copy is there and it has rotated and we have a position like this. So that is the difference between rotation angle, position angle and step angle. So you can always give steps to rotate an item. I'll draw a circle. So circle can be drawn randomly, you can draw and then adjust the diameter or radius. You can give whichever, like after drawing you can adjust the diameter. So if you want to change the diameter I can give say 80. Diameter I'll give 80. Okay. Now, so while drawing itself you can adjust the diameter and radius. But here after drawing I adjusted the diameter. Now I want to divide this circle into 12 equal parts. So I'll draw a diameter. Okay, I am getting an indication now. That is the end of this circle. So from here I just draw to the other end of the circle. So I am getting a diameter now. Now this line I will rotate by 30 degree angle. Okay. So 30 degree angle, number of 30 degree angles is required. First rotate it by 30 degree angle, then 60 degree, 90 degree, 120 degree. So you need the initial rotation 30 degree and then further steps also 30 degree. So I can use a rotate command to rotate that line. But rotation should be with the center. Center should be the center of rotation. So you select the line, select the rotate command. Now select the center as the center of rotation. So you should select the center of the line as a center of rotation. Now you can see that indication, center point indication. Select the center. Now you have to rotate this end of the line. Okay, with this as center, you should either rotate this end or this end. Okay, so I'll select this end of the line. Now you can rotate the line. So I need that initial horizontal diameter as well as rotated element. So I'll keep this switched on. Now you have to give the rotation angle as 30 degree. 30 degree is the rotation angle. Then press the tab key twice to get the focus onto the step angle input field. So here you have to give the step angle as another 30. 30 you can give step angle, then press enter. Now you have to move the mouse and click. Then again move the mouse. You can continuously do this till you get 12 parts. So now you have divided the circle into 12 equal parts. Now I'll show you the dimensioning of a line. I'll just draw a line 100 mm and press enter key. Now it's fixed 100. Another line I'll randomly draw, inclined line. Okay. Now I want to put the dimension here. I have to mark the dimension. So a very technical drawing. Now it is important to mark the dimensions. So for dimensioning, you have two methods for dimensioning. One is a smart dimension that gives just pick the line and you can place the dimension. So it is showing 100. Okay. Now you can also pick this line and just dimension it. So that will give the dimension. Now the dimension text is not very clear. Okay. So I'll later show you how to modify the dimension text. Now there is one more tool here. Here distance between. So it was angle between. Now it's a distance between. So it's almost looks similar. Distance between and angle between. So I selected distance between. I can select 2 points. Okay. The distance, I want to mark the distance between 2 points. You can select these 2 points and mark the distance. So the difference between the smart dimension distance between is smart dimension, just you have to only pick the line and dimension. So it is easy to place the dimension. So smart dimension, it's quite fast. You have to only pick the line, you can place the dimension. But distance between, you need to pick the 2 points. But distance between you can also use to dimension from one point to another point on the line. Say I want a midpoint. So I can mark that. But not with the smart dimension. Smart dimension you cannot do that. The entire line will be selected and the length of the line will be marked. Now also with the distance between option, if I pick an inclined line, okay, I'll select the end of this and end of this line. So here you have an option to place the either vertical distance or horizontal distance. So if you look at the ribbon bar, there are number of choices here. You can select by 2 points. By 2 points means it gives the distance. It is like a smart dimensioning. Okay. You have selected the end of the line, you are getting the length of the line. So if you place you are getting the length of the line. Okay. Now the other way of doing is, if you have to get the distance, horizontal distance between these 2 ends of this inclined line, then you can change the option to horizontal or vertical. Then pick this end and pick the other end. If you want the vertical distance, just move the mouse, or horizontal distance, moves the mouse down. Here vertical distance. You can mark the vertical distance. You can also pick the ends and also mark the horizontal distance between that. So this you can do only by distance between option. Smart dimension only gives the length of the line. For an inclined line, when you want to find out the distance between the two ends, vertical distance or horizontal distance, then you have to go for distance between option, not smart dimension. And also if you want to dimension the distance between any two specific points, then you have to go for distance between option. Whereas smart dimension only gives you can quickly mark the length of the line. Now all these dimensions which I marked, it's not very clear to you. Okay, the dimension text is very small. Now to edit this dimension text, you need to go to format, style. Now we are using ISO dimensioning system. Okay, ISO dimensioning is a default dimensioning system used. So if you select here dimensioning, you can see that default is ISO. So what I am going to do is I am going to modify that ISO dimensioning text size. So dimension is here, dimension here, few other options also. If it is different, then you have to select dimension. Select dimension here, then pick ISO. I am going to change the ISO dimensioning text size. So pick ISO from here. I am going for modifying this. Modify. Now you are getting quite number of tabs here. So you have to go only for text. Okay, text you select. There you get this menu. There you have to change the font size to 6 mm. It will be a convenient size, and other font type, font style, all that you may change, but time being it's not necessary. We are happy with the font size. Just select the font size to 6 mm and then click OK. After that you have to apply these changes. So apply the changes. These changes will be for the entire file. Okay, next time when you open a new file, again the font size will be different. So this is a dimension text size. Dimension text size. Whatever dimensioning you do in this particular file will have 6 mm dimension, and it will be quite clear in the drawing. And while taking the printout also, this 6 mm text size will be convenient. So this only changes the dimension text. But if you want to type something in the drawing sheet, so you have to use this text tool. You can click on the text tool and type something. I have typed this. Again, this text size is quite small. So this text size, while typing itself, you can modify. Here on the ribbon bar, you can change the text size. If you want to type a different text size, you can select here and then type it. That will change the text size. You can type here. You can, instead of 3.5 mm, you can make it 8 mm or 10 mm and type it. So that will only appear for that particular text. If for the entire file, if you want to make the changes for the text size, then you have to once again go for format, style, the same where you have changed the dimension text, no, the same way only, format, style. You have to select here text. Instead of dimension, you select text. And here only one option is there, normal. You go for modify. Modify, you have to select out of these two tabs, you have to select the paragraph. Paragraph you select. Here you have to change the text size to 6 mm. Then click OK. And then apply. So these changes will not affect the text which you have already typed. Whereas the dimension text, all the past dimensioning all will change, but not for the text. Text now, whatever you type here afterwards, after selecting this, after making the changes, whatever you type, that will have 6 mm font. So I have a 6 mm font here. So you just type something. This is 6 mm font. So this is how you change the font size and dimension and text size. So you have to go to format, style, and select which are like text and dimension. There is also one option here to create line types. There are number of line types available in the software. You can also create new line types. These are the options. When you select a line here, there are number of options available here. Visible line, normal line. Now if you want to create your own line type, you can also edit the existing line type. Visible line, you can modify it. Okay, you can modify the thickness, color and other things. Suppose you want to create a new line type, you can go for new line type, click new, give a name. It's I'm just putting it as a personal. It's a personal choice, so I just put the personal. And I want to change that. Before clicking OK, I want to change the thickness. I want to be quite thick line, so I just go for 2 mm. And color also I'll just make it green. Okay, now I have created a new line type now. Okay, then you have to make the changes to apply. Okay, so now if you choose a line, so you can see there is a option here, personal line type. So the other line types will be there. Visible line is, this is visible line, so that will be visible line. So after selecting the line tool, you can have the option to select whatever line type you have created. Personal, this is personal. Okay, so that will give a line type of green color with the 2 mm thickness. The thickness of this is 2 mm. If you select and you can see that thickness, it is 2 mm. Here you can change the thickness also. Once you draw, you can change the width, that means thickness of the line. So this way you can create a new line type. So this new line type, whenever it's required, you can create. This is only for this particular file. And also you can dimensioning. I was talking about dimensioning. No? So you can also mark the angle between two lines. Say if you want to mark the angle, so this is the angle between. Okay, select these two, so I can mark that angle 139 degree. So this, and you have to select this every time. Select this angle between this and this angle is 74 degree. So like this you can mark the angle between any two consecutive edges. Okay, 47 degree. This angle is 47 degree. So that way you can place the dimension. So mainly there are three dimensioning I explained: angle between, the distance between, and smart dimension. There is another tool here which is used to measure the distance. So you can measure the distance. You select 2 points. It will not place the dimension. It gives a distance 71.44. This can be used some calculation purpose. I want the distance between this point and this point. You can use, just measure it. I don't want to place the dimension there. Just measure it 100 mm. Okay, so it's a measure tool. This angle between and distance between is also there. Smart dimensioning is there. And this is a trim tool. Trimming means like protruding edges. If you want to delete, now I want to trim this portion beyond this line. If you want to remove this, okay, this is a single line. If you go for select tool, if you select it, the entire thing, if you delete now, entire line will go. But I don't want to do that. I only want to remove this edge. So I can cut this using the trim tool. I can cut this. Similarly, this part if you want to remove, Okay, this will be the cutting edge. If I click now, that will go. So anything like protruding beyond a line. Okay, I'll draw another line like this. Okay. Now if I use the trim tool, I can not only one at a time, I can draw a line like this that will cut off these two. Okay, like this you can draw a line, drag a line, so that will trim that. So that's a trim tool. And you have another trim corner. Trim corner means if you have trim corner, that corner is trimmed. Okay, that corner, trim corner. When you select the trim corner, you have to select these two. That corner, that protruding portion is removed. And not much use. Okay, you can use this trim command and just drag a line and cut it. That's also help. So most of the things you can use trim only and do it. And you have another option, split and extend. Extend command will be sometimes useful. Say like you have a line like this, and I want to extend this to this line. Up to here I want to extend this line. You can draw another line like this, but it may be like different slope, and that will be separate. I can use an extend command to extend to the next border. If I come to this line, it will extend. Just it is extended. Now this will be a single line. This will be a single line. So I just extended this line. If you can use further extend command, it will extend to the next border. If I keep like this, again, see if I move that mouse here, it is extending. Similarly, you can see this. Keep the line here. You are extending to the next boundary. So I am extending that line. So this, if you keep the line here, it will extend to the next boundary, like it goes on extending. So there should be a boundary. If I keep here, nothing happens. But if there is a boundary like this, and if you use the extend command, you can extend up to here. So that is extend command. If you want to split a line at a specific point, I want to make this single line into two pieces. At this point, at this junction, I want to divide this line. Okay. So after selecting the split command, you just select the line, then where you want to divide this junction. I click here, junction. Now this is two separate lines. This is one line, this is another line. So split command divides a line at any specific point. You select the line first, then where you want to split at this junction. So I made this into two lines. So that is a use of split command. So you have split command to divide a line into two pieces, or more extend command to extend a line to the next boundary, trimming the corner, and trim command, trimming a line with using a cutting edge. And here you have a filleting option. It's we may not use much filleting. A corner you want to fillet, select this, you can fillet it. Okay, so this you can use this fillet command to. So you can change the radius. You can give the radius and give it, or just randomly you can move it and fillet it like this. This I'll do the filleting. Okay, so like this. So that is a fillet command. So under this move command, so you have rotate, mirror, scale, and stretch. Move command is just selecting the item. You can move that by some specific distance. You can select it, select that, and you can click and move it anywhere. Okay, anywhere on the. While moving, you can switch on this, that will give multiple copy. Initially, whatever it's there, and also if you're not switched on this, it will only just move. So it will move that. But while using the move command, if this move copy is switched on, you will get a number of copies. Wherever you move, no, the initial copy also will be saved. So you are getting a number of copies here. So initial figure is also saved. So wherever you move, there you will get, you can just move and click. So move command is, you can select it, click on the move command. If this is switched on, you can move and get multiple copies. Also, while moving, you can give that distance, what distance you want to move. So x distance and y distance. Giving a reference point. From here, I want to move it by some distance. X distance you can give, y distance you can give. So x distance 100. I press the tab key and change the y distance as 50. Press enter. So that will give only 4 positions. So from here, this is the x distance 100, y distance 50. So it has moved by 50 mm. And again here, x distance 100 and y distance 50. There is one more position, x distance 100, y distance 50. Here, so there are only 4 positions for that. So you can, wherever you want, you can fix it. So again from there you can have multiple copies. So I will show you the distance between this point and this point. I want that horizontal or vertical. Horizontal distance is 100, and if you dimension this point and this point, the vertical distance is going to be 50. So you have moved from here by this was a reference point selected. From there you have moved by 100 and y distance by 50. Okay. You can also give step distance while moving. Say move command I am using, this moving to a step distance. So you can type this step distance as 15, press enter. I am selecting this. From that, the step distance is moving by 15 mm. You can also, it's a number of copies, 15 mm distance. So this way you can have step distance also mentioned, either step distance or absolute position by giving x and y distance. So that way you can move the items. That is the use of move command. You have another option here, mirror command. Mirroring, if you select mirroring, you can select this and you have to give the edge for mirroring. If you are using this as a mirroring edge, you will get a figure like this. Okay, so I mirror it. Now again I select this, I use a mirror command. I can select this as mirroring edge. Okay, so mirroring the exact mirror image of an object. So this will help in the drawing. Say when you draw the development, on half the development if you draw, and the rest half is a mirror image of that, you can use the mirror command. And the scale option is if you have to increase the size or decrease the size by a constant factor, you can use the scale factor. Scale factor, suppose it's 2, if it's given, that is you are making the double the size. So you can press enter. So wherever you want, you can fix it. So again, this you have a scale copy. So you can, if you switch on this, initial figure will be there, even the scale figure will be there. If you switch off this, it's already switched off, you will have only one copy. So where you want to fix it, so I'll fix it here. So I got this now this is double the size. If you give anything factor less than 1, you will get a reduced image. So scale factor you can give, especially in isometric drawing. You need to scale the drawing. After making the drawing, you need to scale it to isometric scale. So that option you can use, scale option you can use to scale down the drawing. Then you have a hatch tool to hatch this. So you have different coloring options, and this you can have different. So you have hatching can be done. So this is black color I selected. If it's a white color, then you will have something, both are white. I'll select this. So lines are going to be black. So you'll have like this. So that is hatching. And you have offset command. Offset command, say if you draw a circle, and you can use the offset command to this will offset by a distance, say 20 mm. 20 mm. So you can offset which side you want to offset. Either okay, I want to offset like this. So this is offsetting. Further you can offset. So 20 mm distance you are offsetting. Any object you can offset. And in the relationship toolbar we have some of the useful commands, useful tools. One is connect command. So connecting one end of the, say, line or item to another end. So I use the connect command. Connecting this end I can connect to this. Okay, so because both were horizontal, let us come and join. Whichever end is first you selected, this you have selected, now this will come and join here. I want to connect this with this, so this will move, okay, to that point. So it's getting connected, but while connecting it's getting modified. The length has increased to adjust that. Okay, now there is another option here, making it parallel. So I want to make a line parallel to another one. So I want to make this line parallel to this. So it will change. The line first you are selecting, it will get adjusted to that. So but if you try to make this line parallel to this, it's not possible. Horizontal or vertical lines are constrained. I cannot make this line parallel to this. This will get adjusted to. Second line will get adjusted to that. See, that is not possible. This will not get adjusted. Similarly, a vertical line. If you are trying to make vertical line parallel to something like so I want to make this vertical line parallel to this. It's not possible. So this inclined line will get adjusted parallel to the vertical line. So vertical and horizontal lines are always constrained. It cannot be made parallel to any other inclined line. But usually the first line which you selected will get adjusted to the next line. And also you have a option here to make it horizontal on vertical. So I can make this. So it has become horizontal. Both has become horizontal because they were related by a relationship. So both become horizontal. Now, there is an option here to make it a rigid set. Sometimes you need to make a drawing to a rigid one, so that when you make some rotation changes, that will not get transformed. So for that you can select that item and make that a rigid set. You can accept this, it will become a rigid set. So now this will not get deformed. If I want to connect this corner of this rectangle with this, it will come and join here. So if you want to do some modifications, some rotation or connection or making it parallel, before doing that, it's a better practice to make it a rigid set so that there will not be any deformation for this. We have seen some of the lines when you are trying to connect it. Say for example, if you have a line like this and I want to connect it this and to this, that got deformed. The line length has increased. So whereas if I make this a rigid set, if I make it a rigid set and if I connect it this end to this end, there is no deformation for that line. That line length has not changed. It has come and connected here. Whereas previous case, before making it a rigid set, when you connected, that line got deformed. So rigid set will help you to keep that drawing without any deformation. That will be perfectly rigid. There is no deformation takes place while doing the transformations. When you do connect command or rotate command, there will not be any changes in the shape or dimension. Now sometimes this rigid set will be gray in color and you will not be able to select it. In that case, you have to go to the tools. Here maintain relationship you should switch on. This is already on. Say suppose if it's switched off, this will be gray in color. Rigid set, I want to make this a rigid set, but this is a gray in color. I am not able to select that. In that case, what you have to do is go to tools, switch on the maintain relationship. So once you switch on that, you will be able to select that. Now you can click on the rigid set and accept this. So that will make that line a rigid set. It prevents the deformation of that line while making other transformations like connecting or rotating. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.